as the conflict rages, as the humanitarian crisis in Palestine gets worse. Now, the World Health Organization has said that humanitarian aid has been held up at the Egyptian side of the Rafa border crossing for almost 4 days now. That's the piece of breaking news that's coming in. Now, this is also a situation where the Israeli government has asked the people of Gaza to evacuate those areas which it is targeting, which it believes to have assets of the Hamas terror group. But when it comes to leaving the conflict zone, the Rafah border crossing has been blocked by the Egyptian government. The Egyptian government says that it fears that if the migrants from Gaza come in, they will not go back, thinking that they might have a refugee crisis on their hands. But on the other hand, a lot of aid from many global organizations is held up on the Egyptian side, and the World Health Organization says that that aid has been held up for around 4 days. Now, the United States is also impressing upon the Egyptian government, saying that they should open the Rafah crossing and allow the movement of these migrants from Gaza who are fleeing the conflict zone. I'm joined by my colleague Siddhant on the broadcast, who's getting us this piece of breaking news. Siddhant, so this point of contention remains because the Egyptian government doesn't want a refugee crisis on its hands, which is why this Rafah border crossing has been closed for such a long time, even as the bombing continues in Gaza. But are Western powers impressing upon Egypt to find a solution to this?
Well, that's right. That's absolutely right. So the offer remains open for Jordan and Egypt to accept the people from Gaza, from Palestine. But none of these two nations have agreed for it. So look, even historically speaking, there are two reasons to it. One, that the Arab world thinks this way, that if today these people will move out of Palestine, then tomorrow there will not be any going back to those areas. And if there is going to, these people are not going to return, then that area will be occupied by Israel. So this is the point which they mention each time around. And the second and the most important one is that no nation in this world wants immigrants, and perhaps to take care of them. That will be an added responsibility to these nations, and this is perhaps the reason that both of these nations, Jordan and Egypt, have not agreed to accept the people of Palestine. Also, what Egypt is saying is that a lot of aid has flown into Egypt, and perhaps the trucks are lined up outside the Rafah border area to get inside the Gaza, carrying the humanitarian aid. Now, Egypt is putting pressure on United States and perhaps the world leaders so that they can ask Israel to create secure humanitarian corridor, and then these material supplies can reach the people of Gaza. But today is going to be a very significant day, reason being that President of America, Joseph Biden, is going to be in Tel Aviv. He's going to hold talks with Benjamin Netanyahu. And going by what Secretary Blinken said yesterday during his media briefing, perhaps that was before the strike on the hospital, he clearly said that there is going to be talks as far as the securing humanitarian corridor is concerned. So we can expect the announcement of the same today post the meeting of Joseph Biden with Benjamin Netanyahu. Despite scenarios have changed in last 24 hours, perhaps 12 hours since the strike on the hospital, this could be a turning point in this war, as the summit, Biden's summit with the Arab leader, has already got cancelled. All he has in his schedule is to meet Benjamin Netanyahu and go to Tel Aviv. So we could see some sort of America can ask Israel to secure humanitarian corridor, but then again Israel has its own concerns. Israel say that it is about the security, because again using those humanitarian corridor, Hamas can take advantage. So that has been the clear perhaps argument which comes from Israeli side. But there is some positive movement. And why I'm saying this, reason is yesterday Antony Blinken mentioned that In fact, today IDF has come out with a statement in which one of their spokespersons could be heard saying that, in fact, requesting people of Gaza to move towards the southern side. And he also mentions if tomorrow there will be plans to send supplies inside, then those supplies will reach the southern side of the Gaza Strip. So this is for the first time that any of the spokesperson have even spoken about the chance of securing humanitarian corridor. So let's see how things unfold in Tel Aviv once President Biden is going to land and once he'll hold meeting with Benjamin Netanyahu, because the sense that we are getting is that along with the discussions on the humanitarian corridor, there's also going to be the discussion on how to minimize the civilian casualties and also perhaps America could ask tough questions to Mr. Netanyahu when it comes to the attack on the hospital yesterday in Gaza.
Absolutely, and that meeting also comes as there is a looming Israeli ground invasion of the Gaza enclave. So